Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to episode 6 of Shaking the Damn Table. It's your host, David, and I'm joined with Amyna and Memri. And I have to give a special shout out to my guest, my homeboy, my fam. Y'all know who I roll with, man. Isaac Cobb, #1 pick.
What's good?
How you feeling?
I'm good, man. It's good to be here. I'm glad for the invite.
Yes.
You know, glad for the time and everything. I know y'all do something real special here.
Definitely.
I'm honored to be a part of it, for sure, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, welcome on the show, man. And,
Sure.
you know, the too much drip, you could have told me.
I mean,
Nah,
that's
man.
like,
I would have got a better coat.
Hey, man, you know Jack is my specialty, for real.
This is
But I'm really
nice.
hot, though. You know.
Bro, he dripping, just so y'all know.
Yeah,
But,
he
man,
really is.
Tell us about yourself.
yeah, man.
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit. I feel like I'm kind of old, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm like one of those boring lives, man. I really just go to work. I go to work, I'm a scientist, so I work in science in a lab setting for the most
Phil
part.
Nye. Phil
Yeah.
Nye. That's what he called.
I'm a musician. I play drums. I play some other instruments, but I'm a drummer at heart. And I also do artwork as well. So I got some things coming up with that as well. And also really big in my faith. As far as what I believe, I'm a Christian. I'm really big in my faith.
Amen.
I also have some creative things coming up with that as well. But y'all give me some little time, and I'm definitely gonna put that out there for you.
Well, you a creative.
Wow, I learned a lot about you right there. Like, I'm glad you said
More
that.
in this moment right now.
That's
Obviously, I already knew that.
awesome.
For sure, for sure.
Obviously, I already knew
I
that
didn't know
gang,
you did art. That's
And I didn't know that either. That's what's
It's
up.
something it's always been like a personal outlet that I used to express maybe difficult times and difficult moments, but through a lot of growth I'm kind of using that to maybe send some messages or send a message of any kind. Like I have a lot of ideas. I've been incorporating some more things in my life, maybe just journaling and kind of putting those ideas on paper. So now I'm just gonna wait till they kind of manifest. And so yeah, I think it'll be something great.
Philip Picasso, bro. Happy to have you in the building, bro.
Awesome the name.
For sure.
You already know. You already know. But this episode is a very personal episode to me, and a lot of us can probably relate to it. We're going to definitely dive into black health and diet issues in the community, and that's something that we can all learn from. But before we do that, I know during the week we're always looking for a new place to go, something to check out. So, Memri, what's the move?
Well, I have 2 events for everyone this week. So the first one is Art After 5, and I bet a lot of us have already heard of that. It's a pretty popular event around Birmingham. It's something that's put on by the Birmingham Museum of Art, and they are actually going to have it this Friday. Yes, this Friday. That is March 8th, and it's going to go from 5 to 9 p.m. And the theme is Game of Thrones. Now, I'm not really okay.
Look, I'm
It's not
watching
much.
it now, and
Okay.
I was trying to watch it earlier. I'm on season 2, episode 2, but I've been trying to watch it for years. So.
Yeah, so it's Game of Thrones. They'll have like a dragon hunt, a DIY crown making station, Game of Thrones specialty cocktails. Now that doesn't sound bad. And a whole lot of other stuff, going on. And it's free. It's a completely free event, but there is a cash bar, so bring your cash for the drinks.
Racks.
Okay, and then the other one is the Women's March Birmingham. This one's going down a little later this month. It's on March 23rd, and it's going to go from 10 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. And according to their Facebook event page, the march is about understanding this Women's March in Birmingham, Alabama is marching towards solutions together. Solution workshops will be held immediately following the post-march community lunch. The focus is equitable women's wellness, and the goals are to connect, educate, and motivate women to access mental, emotional, and physical health care. So it's really good goals this year. And then as we get a little closer to the day, they'll give out more information about, where you can meet to do the march and all that kind of stuff. So great events for this month.
Nice.
Sounds good, for sure.
Yeah. And we'll slide into Amyna with the
Black Business of the Week. So the Black Business of this week, my church member actually, Roderick Moore, and his friend Darnell Green, they're both trainers. So they're going to have a gym opening up on April the 20th. So 420 goes to the gym. So April 20th, they're going to have an opening, and they're based off of Bessemer. So it's the both of them. And their mission is to help you catch the you that you've been chasing. So, if you're definitely trying to get in shape, they have, different training stuff for whatever your goals are. They can, you know, accommodate towards that. And they have a couple of videos of testimonies and stuff like that, and some videos of the owners that we're going to show right here.
I've only been working with BeDriven for 2 weeks, and I'm already down 10 pounds. I started out at 166, I'm at 156 now. That plan that they got me on, including that meal guide, is fire. You need to be driven. You need to be chasing the you that you always wanted. You can't do it by yourself. So holla at Rod, holla at Darnell, BeDriven Fitness. I'll see you on the other side.
My name is Rasheed Grimes. I'm current resident of Birmingham, Alabama. Right now I'm a student and I'm coming to school of law right here in Birmingham. My goal is to lose 15 pounds. One of the biggest struggles I've pretty much dealt with is junk food. The fact that I'm in school and I'm studying, I have to put long hours of studying. I'm not as active as I used to be. So I'd be up 10, 11 o'clock at night and I'm drinking soda, drinking energy drinks, and, you know, snacks, stuff of that nature, and then I go to sleep on it, and opposed to, you know, getting up, running, being active. So the more time I put in studying, also the more weight I put on. So it's like now I still have to study, but I want to also kind of incorporate, you know, effective ways of eating healthy, and simultaneously also lose weight at the same time or maintain a good weight. So that's my goal.
Accountability, you'll never get where you want to go. Listen to me. Without a testimony, you'll never have a test. We put together a system to help you reach your goals. That's proven, that's factual, that's science-based, nutritional-based, and with hard boot camps, workouts like we did today. If you want to reach us, follow us on social media, BeDriven Fitness on Facebook, BeDriven_Fitness on Instagram, and also our website, BeDrivenFitness.com. Be driven. We are. Be driven.
So you already know we have to kick off another week of Black History Trivia. And we have the pleasure of having me behind the wheel this week. I ain't got time to be losing. She been throwing curveballs, but it's my time to shine. That's all I can say.
It sounds like
So
you got a rib, bro.
I just been trying to educate.
Educate and humiliate. All right. You know what I'm
Good
saying?
job.
But y'all make sure y'all get y'all color-coded cards, and I'm gonna kick this off. So. And it's actually perfect that we were just talking about gyms, the gym that you just said, because this first question is actually related to health like that. So,
Okay.
all right,
Okay.
let's kick this off.
That's terrible.
So, bro, I'm not that good either.
I'm gonna win.
Bold statement. Now let's see if the guests will upset us this week. Okay, so many African Americans have been bitten by the fitness bug and are included in the 50.2 million Americans who have a gym membership. What percentage of gym memberships go unused annually? Okay, now we got A, 25%, B, 50%, C, 66%, or D, 75%.
Is that like a word problem? Like, do I need to get my calculator?
No.
Okay, let's do it again. Let's do it again. Okay, I'm ready.
I think I got my answer.
Winning, yes.
Yes, what percentage of gym memberships go unused annually? 25%, 50%, 66%, or 75%?
Okay, I got it.
I got mine too.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. C. Okay. C. Indeed. Isaac and Amyna got it. 66%.
That's gotta be a weird number.
I knew it was gonna be high. 75, 62 equal. It was like, you know, I was like, that ain't working.
Okay, so 1 point, and
I know I don't use my membership like that.
I definitely use mine.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why it was a relevant question, because we talking about like black health and all that. The gym fitness is extremely important. I know, like obviously you're very structured in your you go to Lifetime Fitness consistently, but you know like there's like crazy 66%.
Yeah,
like just be chilling. Like so, it's like why do you have it? No, I'm not trying to. Shade throw, man. Of all these people, it's I guess it's just like why do we? I know like there back then they were talking about like there was a fitness campaign. And I feel like back then there was a couple years ago there was a lot of people that were just motivated to go to the gym.
Right.
But then they got membership, but then they didn't go. But they're still paying for it. They said they still had membership.
Yeah.
So it's just like I guess I know I can. Yeah, for real. Because like I know I can relate to this. Because like I remember I used to hold on to my UAB membership.
Yeah,
because,
I remember those days.
Yeah, because I was like, if I cancel it, then I'm giving up completely. But if I have it, at least I can go. Yeah. But I still didn't go. You know what I'm saying?
Right. It's like leaving the door open. You know, you can always walk through it. It's like having that one jacket, that one shirt. You're like, I ain't gonna never wear it,
but I still want it.
I do. You know, I might have an occasion for it. You know. Yeah,
we're all guilty of it, and it's probably exactly we're all guilty of it, and it's probably like below 66%. And it probably should be around. I'm sure it hasn't gone up since then, but we need to lower that and go to the gym, man. You know? The gym. If you want to go to, like I said, at #1pick, check out his IG page at 4 a.m. every morning. He in the gym, so you want motivation to go to the gym, definitely. But let's go. Moving on to question 2. This is gonna get more into the trivia. That one was a little health focused. Now I'm getting to the Black history. Okay. So yeah. We're gonna see.
We're gonna say I go.
All right. What state was the first to elect a black governor, doing so in 1989? We have Delaware, Mississippi, Virginia, and Washington. A, B, C, D.
I think I don't know who's right or not, but I'm just gonna rock with it.
I'll definitely agree. Okay.
Give me the answer choices.
Okay. We have Delaware, Mississippi, Virginia, and Washington.
Ain't no way it could be Mississippi.
Right. It's just ain't no way.
That was not my first choice at all.
That
wasn't my first choice. You know what I'm saying?
Hey man, no shade.
Brandon from Mississippi.
Shout out Low Key Lee. Hey. Okay, we ready?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah, I'm ready.
Let's show them answers in 1, 2, 3. Okay, we got C, and it is definitely Virginia. Shout out to y'all knowing y'all history. Turn up. That is 3 for 3. Okay. So y'all was studying a little bit.
I didn't know that. That's just good.
You know,
okay, at least
it's
intuition, man.
elimination.
Right.
Yeah,
I didn't think about the racist level to be.
Yeah, that's
Wow. I'm weak.
I'm like, it's not
that's
a
real.
southern state. It's a northern state.
Right,
I know that.
It's a southern northern state.
Yeah, I feel like Virginia got a good little mix, you know.
True.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. That's
Know your geography. Okay.
It's like, do your homework, man. And yes, it was definitely Virginia. They were the first to elect Governor Douglas Wilder, and he served from 1990 to 1994. So
Joe did.
Still alive and well. I think he's still the same governor in Virginia, right? And he's still holding it down. So shout out to him. I think he's in his 80s now, but alive and well, and he's been. That's, you know what I'm saying. Like that's what it's all about. Like consistency.
So, that's what's up.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. Shout out Douglas Wilder. Okay, moving on to question number 3. This is the last one.
Let's get it.
Personal hero of all of ours. You already know. Which one of these honors was Martin Luther King Jr. not awarded?
Oh man.
Okay. A. Nobel Peace Prize. B. Congressional Gold Medal. C. Presidential Medal of Freedom. Or D. Freedom Award.
Not awarded.
Yeah, which one of these did he not receive? He's an accomplished man. I know you got all these.
That's what I'm saying. Say it one more time.
Okay, we're gonna run through it again. A. Nobel Peace Prize.
Okay.
B. Congressional Gold Medal. C. Presidential Medal of Freedom. Or D. Freedom Award. Which one did he not receive?
I'm stuck between 2.
That's how it be.
See, maybe my issue is I'm like, yes, this is it. Like, too quick. Like, I already have it. Is it right?
Trust your
Yes.
gut.
If I get it wrong, it'll be the first one I got wrong.
True. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay, everybody ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready now.
Okay.
I'm so raw with it.
Hold on. Okay, yeah.
Okay, we're gonna do it. 3, 2, 1. Let's see. Okay, we got C, we got C, we got B. Ah, nobody got it. I wanted a curveball question. It was Freedom Award.
Okay, I was stuck
man.
between those.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Exactly. That was my thinking too. I was like, wait a minute now.
I'm glad y'all on the same page. Yes, MLK definitely received the Nobel Peace Prize, the Congressional Gold Medal, and the Presidential Medal of Honor. So,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a very accomplished man. I was like, I need a curveball question. I'm trying to curve
That was
so,
good. These were good.
Right.
These were good questions.
Yeah, David, I see you, boy.
Yeah,
I see you out here, man.
So we have point total 1.
No.
1.
We both tied.
We got 2.
Yeah, 1, and
Yeah.
oh, got 2.
Yeah, we both got 2.
Okay, cool. Well, okay, we got it.
Wait, do you have a tiebreaker? Oh no, you don't have to.
tiebreaker.
You can
No, I ain't
have
got
Oh man, I got the trophy, bro.
Hey, look at China, bro.
You don't need them more. Like you still had one. You feel me? I got the trophy.
Gold matching. He already got the gold on, bro. This is all. This is perfect. It was just destined.
Hey,
He was
man,
destined to
this
win, bro.
is
He
mustard,
came to win.
bro.
I'm talking about the wrist, bro. First of all,
Mustard. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
said DJ Mustard, bro.
This was definitely mustard.
Shout out Isaac. The guest wins again.
Yes.
Like I said,
All the time.
the show ain't holding it down, bro. We need to
Wait,
get
hold on,
together.
because I could have easily kept it for myself.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
She's
gonna.
been really nice, man.
That's true. He said, "I'm not gonna buy my blessing."
You know,
I'm
I'm
not
not,
blessed.
man. I'm forever grateful.
Hey man, definitely.
Thank
Now
you.
that we got like our brains warmed up, we got them stimulated. We gonna jump right into the topic, man.
For sure.
Like I said, diet and health in the Black community is a huge issue. I know it's affected like our immediate family, our extended family, friends we know. Like, so I'm sure we can all relate to this, but definitely want to kick it off with Black like health insurance and just health insurance in general, and how you have to pay for it when you reach a certain age, and a lot of times before that age, some families don't have access to it, but some do and still choose not to go. So it's a whole lot of stuff that goes of like having like a primary care and someone you can go to once a year to check on your stuff. But it's I find, like I said, in the research I've done and in personal experience, I found that a lot of people pay for it and just don't go.
Yeah.
They feel fine kind of thing. And so like it starts out with one of the things it starts out with is like we have access to it, we should take advantage to get our bodies looked at.
100%.
Because health fluctuates, like, you know what I'm saying? It just, you can do everything right and it still doesn't. So I know like do y'all have any personal experience with health insurance and like going to like the doctor, like y'all like consistency in doing that, and like just y'all's thought on like how we should treat our health like from this point, because you know a lot of people are not taking advantage of resources, you know. So y'all,
I think it's definitely important to consistently go. When I was in like college and stuff like that, I didn't necessarily go as often as like, you know, when you're with your parents and stuff like that, reminded to like go get like physicals and stuff like that. Because, you know, like you said, your diet changes and like that changes your health. Like little things can change one part of your body and that could affect the whole part of your body. And we often overlook stuff like being tired or other little things that we feel like we've experienced before as something that's just normal, instead of actually looking into it deeper to actually see if that could be a like cause of something.
Yeah. Very true. Yeah, a lot of times when we go, I know a lot of times we are held back by the fear of knowing what is wrong with us.
Yeah, that can
But it gets to a point where like you're better off knowing, because you could nip it in the bud now. You're at this age when you, instead of waiting years later and you've been dealing with hypertension for 25 years, it's impossible. You can't reverse that damage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Like I plan to go this year at least once. You know, but it's like you gotta think about it. 365 days. You can't go get yourself checked.
Yeah.
One day. You know what I'm
The
saying?
least you can, as far as like regular health checks, like my dad's always been like, at least go and get a physical every year.
Yes.
Like, you know, go and get a physical and do all that. And then especially for those of us who are sexually active, I highly suggest you go and get checked. You know, but you can do that during your physical. Kill two birds with one stone. There are also a lot of places that do it for free, so you don't even have to go to a doctor. So that's something I always tell people to do. And then, you know, for us ladies, you know, going to get your
parts checked.
Yeah.
Them parts. Y'all know them parts,
Go
bro.
get your parts checked by a gynecologist. That's really important.
For sure.
But last year was like my first year having to get my own health insurance. I'm 24, but my dad, whom I have had health insurance as a family plan, he had to go on Medicare because he's a senior. He's old. So he had to get on Medicaid, Medicare. Forgive me, I'm forgetting which one, because one's for kids, one's for seniors, Medicaid, Medicare. And so when he got on Medicaid, I couldn't be on a family plan with him anymore. So I had to go and get my own health insurance, and my little brother had to go get his own health insurance.
Right.
And we chose to do Blue Cross and Blue Shield. I mean, it's expensive.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. Mine is about $500 a month.
Oh.
And I'm young, I'm healthy. Like, I only really go to the doctor for those 2 exams that I just said.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and you pay that every month. So I think a lot of people don't do health insurance because it is too expensive, like you were saying, because they can't afford it. And I wouldn't be able to afford it if I didn't have any help. So
Yeah, that's crazy, because like people like that in those situations unfortunately have to think of health as a luxury instead of, you know, just being able to be awarded like
Quality
basic
life.
health care, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of picking back off of like what Memri said, you know, it's an expensive thing. And when it gets like that, it's difficult to, if you aren't in a position where it is readily available to you, you know, as far as your finances go and things like that. Then you do put it on the back burner. I mean, if you have bills and everything like that, as far as health, just going to the doctor out of your pocket is something. That's not something you would really just want to pay for.
No.
Right.
And if you're going through, and if you're feeling ways that seem normal, quote unquote, if you're just feeling fatigue, and if you're having headaches and those things that can easily be overlooked, if it's not something giant, if it's not something big, that's something you'll overlook. You know, that's something. And even in the case if it's something small and it may seem, you know, maybe out of the spectrum, maybe out of the norm, but you kind of ignore it, you ignore it, you ignore it, and you ignore it, and then it feels normal. You don't even notice it anymore.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of things that goes into it. But I think, you know, just with it being just expensive in one thing, and you know, with jobs, even some of the jobs that do offer it. I know my job offer it, but it's not that good. You know what I'm saying? I mean, copays, that's what I'm saying. Copays and stuff like that, they can still be really expensive depending on what you're doing and stuff like that. So. If we all had an abundance of funds, I'm sure, like, you know, we would take advantage of that. So, reparations, you know, for sure.
That's definitely why I thought that it was important to be in reparations, for sure, healthcare.
Right.
Yeah, free. Yeah, you know, peace of mind of your health, like quality of life. That is something that was always destined to be equal for everybody. Like, quality of life, like, you know, but even that's regulated. You know what I'm saying? Like, even that. So that's definitely a major issue. Like, see, I have so many statistics that. A lot of them are really shocking for, like, as far as like the black community goes, but like it's stuff that we have access to. Obviously, you know, WebMD is a lot of articles that we have access to, but there's a couple numbers that stood out to me. Health status among African Americans. This is the percent of persons, all ages, in fair or poor health of the whole African American population is 13.5%. And that's, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, I don't know the exact number of African Americans in the U.S., but, like, you know, out of 13.5% of all the millions, like, that's a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, that are currently not in the best shape.
Right.
So, you know, in the difference, I know the difference in, like, minorities versus the majority, and access to different things. I know that affects it, you know, systematic stuff, we all know.
For sure.
But it's unfortunate, because, like, that number is, like, very staggering.
Yeah.
There's definitely... like, of course, like with obesity, percent of men over 20 is 37.5%, and percent of women over 20 with obesity. And the African American is 56.1.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's more than half. Like, so many health issues that a lot of people don't even like think about. But our race is plagued by majority of it. You know what I'm saying? Like. So many things. And then the number one that I've learned so much about in the last 2 months, hypertension, high blood pressure, as we all know, which comes from diet and so many things. It's hereditary. Percent of men over age 20 with hypertension is 40.5.
It's a lot.
Of us. Right. And women, 44. So that just shows how common it is, like, men and women and us, and some people don't know it because, you know, they don't have the access to go check. Some people do know they might be feeling symptoms from it, but they choose not to act on it. You know, they're like, and I understand, like, with taking medication and all that stuff, how discouraging it is because it's unnatural, and you pick up other things over the years. Man, we need to find more natural. Really, we need more natural
I need
remedies.
to be like
A
this
herbal.
girlfriend or whatever. She has like a whole holistic site
Yeah.
stuff or whatever. Like, it just I can't do it.
That's a whole other like topic, like being like it's all the natural remedies to stuff.
Holistic healing is a whole thing.
Oh yeah.
And it's
I believe it may be a major at UAB. Side note, it may be an extra major. Like that's
dope.
how.
That's fine.
Like UAB shout out right there.
Yeah.
You know.
But
Alums.
yeah, I know. Like as far as Black people, especially older Black people going to the doctor, a lot of them are very cautious, very scared. But that's only because of the history and what we've had experience with.
Right.
As far as healthcare, you know, in America, you know, and a lot of us still carry that over. I mean, you can't really blame them, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the syphilis projects they did on us, just to name one thing that happened in healthcare and in Black history, you know, and I know it's a big problem with especially Black men, older Black men going to the doctor
I was
and
just gonna
wanting.
say something about
You
that.
did,
For sure.
it's a real problem. I have been reading Michelle's book Becoming, and her dad had MS, and he basically did not want to go to the doctor. Would not. Of course, this wasn't now. Of course, this was back then. But he would not go to the doctor. But it was not only the not trusting them. It was also, well, I'm fine. You know, I can still go to work. It's this pride about being man.
Yeah,
you
man,
know?
that's it.
fine, so I am.
I'm fine. You know, I can go to work and provide. Nothing's wrong with me, and nothing can stop me.
That's it.
And he just basically deteriorated in front of their eyes. He never really went to the doctor. MS affects your entire body. And he would just be going downhill throughout the book. She'll kind of describe it. And it's sad because maybe if he went a little earlier, maybe, you know, they could have done something. I don't know what that something is, but maybe they could have done more than coming back after the fact trying to do something, you know.
Knowledge is power, man. Like,
I was gonna say, even with what you said of just having that history of like not trusting them, it's kind of like what Black people have with the police, government, all that kind of stuff. We don't really trust the hospitals or like doctors and stuff like that, but we don't also like educate ourselves in the other sense of like, what can we take from that and what do we like actually need to apply and stuff like that, instead of just like writing it all off.
Exactly. I feel like it's a happy medium, man. I mean, you can find some black doctors out there that you can trust. Yeah, for sure. And then just speaking on like from the man, like pride, like being big macho man. I don't need to go to no doctor. I'm good. Like I'm good, man. I'm just gonna drink some water, go to bed. I'll be ready tomorrow.
healing power.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Torn broke, man, just wrap that thing up, man. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Catch the oil, you know what I'm saying? Need some of that. I'm good. So yeah, I mean that definitely goes into it. You know, that's just kind of a, I guess, somewhat societal, or just something we kind of a burden we kind of put on ourselves that we have to be this big, strong. You know, it's okay. That shouldn't make us feel weak as a man. You know, that shouldn't make you feel weak. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a facade that we can put up, and
it was a seed.
Can hurt us.
Yeah, it was a seed planted. It was like, you know, and then obviously we just carried it on, and just made this whole thing. You know, like there's nothing wrong with being like needing a doctor, being weak being at a low point in your life. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's better to know than to not know. You know what I'm saying? Like, because all the uncertainty and the intricacies of the human body and the stuff parts of the body we never even heard of. Like, there's just so many parts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the analogy, just like a car, bro. Like, if you drive a car straight for a year and never get it looked at, you can almost start hearing something eventually. You know what I'm saying? Like break down.
I need to take my car to get maintenance now.
No, it still turns on. It's good, bro.
As long as it cranking,
it's good. Nah, your car is suffering. It's the same thing with the human body. You know. I have so health insurance coverage, percent of persons under age 65 without coverage is 11.3%. You know what I'm saying? That's like a lot more. That's a lot more than people think. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I understand. Like, you have to. I know, like, with certain jobs, you don't have access to it. I just turned 26, unfortunately. So not unfortunately, God's good. Amen. Whole life. But
can't believe you made that.
So I just enrolled for the vision and the dental and all the health stuff that, you know, majority of the year I probably won't need. but it's still important to have that safety belt. And like I said, my dad paid 30 years working in corporate America for all that stuff, just never went. So I'm definitely going to make the effort to go.
Man, we're gonna get out here.
Yeah, at least one time, you know.
So
it's like the access is there. So.
And I've kind of seen that even being a problem, like people not having access to health insurance because they don't have a job, you know, and like a lot of times health insurance is connected to your job.
It is.
And depending on how my rings got connected, good of a job you have, you know, that's how good your benefits are. Like, I mean, I've always been told, like, when you're looking for jobs, like, what are the benefits? What are the benefits? What are the benefits? And
sometimes
you know, a lot of these, especially minimum wage jobs, don't have all that.
$100 copay.
Yeah, right.
Well,
so you just don't have it. And
for sure.
Yeah.
On Walmart, no.
It can be a problem.
And then you gotta have a certain amount of hours or whatever to do it, so they
Gotta
don't
be
give them out to so
full-time,
much.
all that stuff.
Yeah. I don't
That's
like
it.
that.
The system just always gives you some kind of hurdle. You know what I'm saying? Versus like, you know, of course, like places like Canada, healthcare is, you know, free, universal. Yeah, everybody up there is nice. I need to visit. You know, Canada seems like it'd be a nice place.
It's dope. It's dope.
Yeah, I need to go.
Toronto,
Like,
Toronto is dope.
You know, see the rap.
six guys, you know what I'm saying?
I let
Yeah.
Drake, all that good stuff.
Drizzy, what up? You know what I'm saying?
Baby, shout out everybody. Shout out Drake.
I do.
Shout out
Like,
Drake.
y'all haven't noticed.
Shout out the weekend.
Like,
Shout out the weekend.
Shout out, bro. Shout out.
Bro, if y'all have not noticed, every episode I say, man, shout out it, man. Shout out to so-and-so, man. Bro, we gotta take advantage of, like, just, you know, speak life. Shout out everybody you can.
I like
it's
that,
a good
man.
thing.
I dig
It's a
it,
good
man.
Shout out my friends.
Homies, bro.
Yeah,
Lift them up,
everybody.
man.
You know, even the celebrities that inspire me, I shout them out too. Shout out 2 Chainz, which is listening to his album the other day. Or today, actually. So,
I haven't
yeah.
Shout out Solange.
Yes.
Boom, you know?
New music for you.
Right.
Shout out
We
me.
all off topic.
I know. Back on topic. So, okay, so back to these statistics. I was combing through WebMD. Of course, you know, there's a bunch of stuff on there. I'm just going to read through like a bunch of statistics I found for the African American community.
For sure.
I know, you know, so our 3 top like killers for us: stroke, heart disease, diabetes. Boom. Like that's always been the top, and it's still the highest number of killers. But diabetes is 60% more common in Black Americans than others. They are 2.5 times more likely to suffer limb amputation, and 5.6 more times likely to suffer from kidney disease than other people with diabetes.
Wow.
African Americans are 3 times more likely to die of asthma than others. Deaths coming from strokes kill 4 times more 35 to 54-year-old Black Americans than white Americans. And Blacks are nearly twice the first time stroke risks of whites, you know, just in comparison. Like, it's just, there's like I said, this is hereditary stuff, stuff that may or may not have been planted in our generation. Who knows? But at the end of the day, the numbers have always been strong. Like, they are high. Like, they take us out even more than the cop killings, which are terrible, of course, which need to stop. More than anything else, the number one thing that takes us out is health-related stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Part of us have semi-control. And the last one I was going to end with, Blacks develop high blood pressure earlier in life with much higher blood pressure levels than the others. Nearly 42% of Black men and more than 45% of Black women aged over 20 have high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Borderline high blood pressure.
But the blood pressure can have a lot to do with environment, like what is going on.
True.
Yeah, and that's true.
Yeah.
And the rest of it, it's crazy because Black people, we have all these diseases when a lot of them are really preventable.
Yeah.
Like with exercise and diet, we just
Diet.
Diet is
I always
diet,
think about
man.
that episode,
Diet.
that Boondocks episode or whatever. When
Fried
they
chicken.
had,
I already know what you're saying.
I'm already here, man.
and they was talking
Fried chicken.
about soul food or whatever, and they was like, so why did she die from eating this food, and then y'all honored her every Sunday afterwards by making the same meal?
Making the same thing.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, we do have that habit of just like, well, this is, you know,
This is what we know.
That's what you know, man. Yeah.
because when we talk about like veganism and stuff like that or whatever, because I know when Beyonce and Jay-Z did the whole thing about like they would give out free concert tickets and stuff, and people online were like, would y'all be vegan for them or all that kind of stuff or whatever. But it's like, you know, people be so like
Against it.
veganism,
Like,
like
so
vegetarianism, so against
they be
it.
like, whoa.
But-
My sister is a vegetarian.
I was a
so-
vegetarian for a little while.
Yeah.
That was the most
My
energy
mom.
Yes.
I ever had.
The natural health, natural everything like that. Boy, you better get on that Daniel diet. For real, really, that's what we should be on.
Said almonds and grass, bro. Let's get it.
It's funny you say it's funny. Almonds and faith. Bro, it's funny. It's so funny you say that because at work, there's a person that one of the people that I'm cool with there. He always when he comes and talks to the group of us, he'd be like, he calls me Nature Boy, and I never knew why he called me that. So bro, literally, bro. I was like, why you call me that? Look at your snacks, man. I look at my snacks, bro.
I know you had the almonds in there, bro.
He said, look at your snacks. He opened my drawer. I got rice cakes. I got Triscuit. I got
the almonds.
Whole natural almonds, no salt.
I
got low sodium beef jerky, bro.
I got 9 gears. Straight almonds, bro.
Like that, I'd be like, give me the cakes.
Granola, bro. It's straight granola, protein,
granola, oatmeal, man. That's my go-to, man.
Yeah, exactly, bro.
Fruit in it, man.
And the thing is, they try to. Everybody be like, hey, your snacks, bro. How you eat all that stuff, bro? Bro, I'm telling you, I got it from my dad because, my dad's content on rice and beans every day for real. He's that type of diet, but bro, them. But them lean snacks is what takes care of the inside. You know what I'm saying? That's what gives you that energy. That's what keeps you.
Real clear.
Exactly.
Boy, ain't no
fiber, strong fiber. It's the cereal you eat, David. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, don't even get it.
Raisin Bran.
See, they finna clown. Raisin Bran currently.
Shout out Raisin Bran.
Shout out Kellogg's.
You gonna see come across the screen, bro.
You gonna see Kellogg's. Raisin Bran Crunch at Raisin Bran Crunch Instagram. Follow me.
Straight up.
Bro, y'all play now. 20, 30 years, bro.
Yeah.
Colon just.
Yes, it's clear.
Fresh air.
It's
What?
clean.
So,
Yes.
man.
It's definitely, but that, I'm saying related to that, like I said, what we put in our bodies is up to us. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we have divine intervention from God. We have God is healing, the natural source of everything. But of course, He gives us a job to do as well on earth to take care of ourselves and to take advantage of the blessings. He's like modern medicine, doctors, the knowledge of the human body. That's all stuff He's blessed us with. Even though we we're cursed or whatever from the sin and all that stuff, He still provides grace, which is in this case in the form of healthcare, doctors, knowledge of our own bodies, human medicine.
That's why you taught that in.
Exactly, you know what I'm saying? So, bro, it's literally it's important for us to just tie it together because and that'll help the older generations that are a little stubborn and I'm not going anywhere. You tie it to God. The case closed, you know what I'm saying? It's provided from 100%. Directly.
I'm with that, man. Because generally speaking, I eat really, really healthy for the most part. I try to really watch what I eat. So majority of the time, it's just protein and vegetables. I eat a lot of fish, a lot of chicken. I don't eat fried fish. Not really. I'm grilling it. Broccoli, asparagus, all that stuff. I'm really watching it, and it can really. And the funny part about it, or the interesting part about it rather is that whenever I tell people what I eat, a lot of people are like, how you eat like that? So even some of my coworkers what do you what? You eat that every day? Bro, pizza head, bro.
Meanwhile, they're drinking a Coke every morning and flaming hot Cheetos.
I'm like, exactly. I'm like, how do you eat that in the morning? But it's so much to it. It's such a big difference. What you put in your body. That's the things that your body is using to just develop and everything. So it's such a big deal. I feel like really your diet is not a difficult thing. It's something that you can just kind of plan for. Just having a better diet. And ultimately, people always treat your diet as if eating healthy is something that's more expensive. It's not really that much expensive. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to get some grilled chicken. I go to Publix, I get a big, thing of chicken breast. It's $6. It's fresh and everything. And I get $5 or $6 a piece. I can get 2 of those. I get some asparagus. I get some rice because rice is super cheap. You get you some brown rice.
Less than $1, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Red potatoes. You know what I'm saying? That's a decent meal. You for 3 days. You know what I'm saying? So it's not expensive. It's not difficult. It's not hard. But it really just takes a little bit of being intentional, and that's something that people don't really think about. How all those small moments can combine and really affect something so big. You know what I'm saying? So. I think it just takes a little bit of effort, a little bit of being intentional, and you can get some great results out of that.
How bad do you want it? That's it, man.
Yeah.
You want better health for yourself. They say living your best life. You can't live your best life if you're broken down.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When it comes to providing for others and everything, if you want to, we're our goal on this earth and purpose for God is to serve. So if you want to be able to serve people as best you can, you need to be.
Wow. You got to be healthy.
Yes.
You got to be.
You can't minister if you broken down. We ain't trying to read you. She said, drag me off the set, bro.
Yes, if you yourself are not nourished, that's deep.
Exactly.
I love it.
Shaking the table.
Because like I said, a lot of them have that. I know for a fact, I love my dad to death, but he has that mindset I know there was some point in his life where he had a mindset like, I'm doing God's work. I feel fine. God's taking care of me. He's keeping me healthy. No, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It takes a little bit on your end.
It
too.
does.
Yeah.
It does. And you can definitely get comfortable with that mindset. And at the end of the day, it can end up being costly.
But also,
100%.
we do have a like thing of trying to make it seem like we can only fix like parts of it or whatever, and then we're on a good track. Like people will say, like even like for me being skinny or whatever, people think like, oh, you're like, in shape.
automatic.
It's like, no, not necessarily, because I'll be doing what I need to do. Like or like people who just exercise but don't do the diet part, or just do the diet part but don't exercise.
Man, you ain't doing nothing.
Like it's like you have to do everything, right?
If you work out and eat Wings Plus every day,
you
just cancel it out.
You just literally, you're literally just an average.
You ain't doing nothing. You'll just cancel that gym plan. Like,
when I get off, I'm about to reverse whatever I'm doing right now. Bro. Nah, it's the same
let me
thing.
just waste my time real quick.
It's like you said, it's definitely a balance. It takes two, you know what I'm saying? And I find the hardest part lately for me has been, I feel like it's easier to go to the gym than the diet part. What's easier for y'all? Is it easier to eat healthy every day or work out every day? I know for you it's probably easier to work out every day because that's just like...
They really are about the same. For
Okay,
me,
that's good.
personally.
Exactly. You've reached that balance. That's good.
Yeah, they kind of... Go ahead.
No, you go. I'm thinking out loud. You go.
Well, I just think they kind of the same concept applies. Just a little bit of being intentional. And for me, like I go to the gym super early, so I get up at like 3:30 in the morning. I go to the gym before work.
When you're
so.
asleep, he's in the gym. Think about that.
He's in the gym.
But I get up, the intentional part of that comes up when I go to bed at night. I go to bed 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know, I'm getting in the bed. You know what I'm saying? I'm a strict senior citizen, bro. I'm trying to get Medicaid.
Why not?
The day just started for me. I'm waking up. What you mean?
Oh my god.
I will be honest. My average bedtime for the last couple of years has been about 12 at least.
There's no
And
way.
It's crazy.
12 is way too late for me.
It's too late.
And I'm
Way too late.
shooting for 10. Like,
Sounds good.
and even sometimes at 10, I'm like, I just feel so
My
lame.
sleep
Like,
pattern just.
it's still people, and like 7th, that's good though, because they say, you know, like you
Doctors
should wake
recommend.
up early and at like 5, and that's good.
Start your day.
You're most
Start your
of-
day.
like that, but it just depended on like situations and
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'm doing.
Right.
Like my
Yeah.
jobs used to like make me have to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, well then this is the whole day. Like I liked it when I was forced to do it.
Yeah,
But if I choose to,
it's different. Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely say,
lie.
I mean, they definitely say your most efficient, most productive day you can get out of your body's energy and everything, like mentally, is early mornings. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like all the successful businessmen, all those people, they was
they
up
get up
at least
early.
by 4 or 5 a.m.
You're right.
consistently for years. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's something I don't think you can really. Well, it's possible to make it, but like those people all had that work ethic to be up early in the day.
Yeah.
That's when your mind's the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
that's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? Like it's before 6 a.m. It's really before 6 a.m. when you're like, but I'd be like, nah, my mind, I'd be dead tired that time. I'd be like,
Yeah.
well, see, I don't be dead tired. It's just my body is very weird. Like I could be up late at night being creative, though, but like I can't necessarily like go to sleep early, wake up early
I see.
all the time. But sometimes I can go to bed late and like wake up early.
I see.
yeah,
I see that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Your body is. I know. There's one thing.
Weird.
It's very adaptive, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And your body is very used to patterns, so you can
Yeah.
create a lot of patterns. Your lifestyle can determine a lot of patterns,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of small things
Yeah.
that can determine that too. Even we talked about like their diet and stuff. Like some of those things can affect, how you sleep, how well you rest.
True.
At what point does your body have the most energy? You know what I mean? Because we talk about things like REM sleeping. At what point in your sleep do you hit that? Because that takes about 4 hours, and that's when you get the most sleep, and all these other things
Best
go into
sleep,
course.
yes.
So
Right.
Facts.
it's a lot of things that go into it. But it's like I said, for me, it's just like just being intentional, Just
That's the key word
That's the key.
tonight.
That's
The
the key.
word for
We're gonna
today
put on board intentional.
Intentional.
Make sure that follows my hand.
That's exactly what it is. Like to eat a healthy meal, you have to be intentional.
Right.
You know, you have to be like,
oh, my diet.
no, like you have to say, okay, I'm going to the store. This is what I'm buying. I'm going to
go
cook
to the
it.
store. You be like, oh, I see all this.
Oh, this other stuff.
One track mind. Know where you're going. Like this is the hour my stuff is. Don't worry about all this
Yes.
junk
And
stuff and yeah.
sometimes I can like I'll buy the right food, but then it's like, okay, now cook the food, Memri. It's like that's the key. It's like intentional.
It's
Like
cool in the freezer, man.
Yes. And I'll just go and buy other stuff. And I'm like, God, I got all this food in my fridge. I just have to cook it.
Yeah.
And then but lately I've really been more intentional.
Hey.
And I've been cooking. And then I don't like work. Back to David's question, I don't like work out a lot, but I'll walk and like jog and things like that. So I'm shooting for like 3 times a week. I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to
She
say.
really out here.
I'm
I
trying.
do real good. I could do like 5 days a week,
Okay.
and then be like for a month, and then just split 1 week or something like that, and then it'll be forever. Like
Yeah, that's me for real. Like I can go hard for like a couple weeks, but then I don't know what it is. If I cannot go one day, it throws my whole thing off. And that's like always been my thing. It's why I feel like I need someone just to push me and like. But it's just like I know I can be consistent, but then it just goes away.
Just out here in that fault with me, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
When you wealthy, Lifetime Fitness, definitely go there.
Excuse my job pays for it. Thank you.
Even more wealth. Exactly, but yeah, definitely being intentional. That is the key. I'm sure we can all think of things we can be more intentional in.
Oh, yeah.
Because like I said, it's how bad you want it. Like you might have the results you want for your body, your fitness, but like how much, if you do a review, how much work are you really putting in towards it? Because like you'd be like, I know I work hard. I work. Are you?
table, read me.
Exactly. Flip the table. I'm reading myself first of all. And when in regards to diet, like I was looking at this really cool excerpt on like the ancestors of like food, like the ancestors and like the diet and how it's changed because of American ways over time.
Yeah.
Right. Man, it was really insightful. It says the ancestors of African Americans brought many wonderful food traditions to the parts of the Caribbean, South America, and the southern states of the U.S. Over the generations, many of these food traditions have been lost with the influences of modern American eating habits. Whether we look to Virginia, Jamaica, Nigeria, or Brazil, we find this overall healthy eating pattern shared by all of their culinary histories, with distinct foods featured in each region. So this is basically talking about how in the beginning, like there was a lot of like raw, healthy foods. All the healthy diet was already instilled, but America, changed all of that, all those influences. Because if you travel to all the different parts of the world, they all have their own specific like healthy eating customs that they follow, cultural.
I mean, but even if you think about like slavery and stuff like that, we were forced to eat the stuff that the white people
didn't want, and that was the unhealthy stuff.
Right, and it was all the fattening stuff. So it's like all that stuff is soul food.
That's where the soul food came from. Exactly. Lard, and we had all that type of stuff. We pig intestine, and they made us think. Then I bring them chitlins around me, bro. Go get back.
We cooked it too, baby. And it was
season that thing up,
baby.
And that's what I talk about, like planting seeds. They planted seeds and made us think this is our culture.
Yeah.
Right. Soul food is not necessarily our culture. I do love it every now and then. Mac and cheese, all that stuff is great.
But hold on, we ain't never taken mac and cheese off the menu.
Oh, nah, man. I gotta have that mac and cheese.
Or the mac and cheese set it off, man.
Mac and cheese for
I'm stupid.
Definitely, but there is like, this is all based off the framework of the African Heritage Diet Pyramid. And if you Google it, you can look at like how the raw like healthy diets we're supposed to pick up. And it says foods to enjoy every day are colorful fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, beans of all kinds, nuts, peanuts, rice, flatbreads, grain foods. This is what it's based off of. And it was said foods to eat a couple times a week. Healthy oils, homemade sauces, marinades, herbs, spices, fish, eggs, poultry, yogurt. And then foods to save for special occasions, meat and sweets. So this is really what the original diet was based like. But I know we eat like more fish and chicken, more output. This is the African Heritage Diet that was on there, but it's more lean basically. It's just make sure your diet's more lean than not. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure your diet's more lean than not. I feel like for the most part I can say mine is. So
I feel like I can say so too.
Again, for sure.
Okay. Low fat, high protein, high, like low carbs, all that. Like that's where we have to. She said, I don't know about the low carbs.
I love carbs.
Carbs is definitely tough, but but yeah, I feel like we've definitely covered some good issues here, stuff to be mindful of. And then I definitely have to say like shout out to my pops. We've had some health scares in the last 2 months, but he's recovering, and stay on top of your blood pressure, your health, overall health, all of that, man. Like we're young, and if you want to stay young, stay young. You know what I'm saying? Stay exactly, bro. You guys, it's all about what you put in your body. So
sure.
Well, shout out to my dad's birthday on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Hey,
turn up.
Happy birthday, Dad.
More life. You know what I'm saying?
All up for sure.
He said he goes up. Yeah, more life, and We'll see y'all next week.
Next week. Peace.